Hello and good morning from Universal Orlando. It is probably going to be a pretty busy day today, being the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, but I am here to continue a family tradition. So what's very different about today compared to last year is last year, the parks closed. They hit capacity and I was not able to go to Islands of Adventure at all. Now granted, last year they did have a limited capacity, which is the reason that they closed, and I did get to go to Universal Studios Florida, but then I waited in a standby line to get into Islands of Adventure for about an hour and a half, and I did not get in. I gave up. Today is still going to undoubtedly be pretty busy, being the day after Thanksgiving, but with the lack of a capacity, crowd limitation, and social distancing and temperature checks, it's going to be very different than last year. So these are all of the cars waiting to pass through the Full Plaza to park at Universal. I entered over on the other side of the parking garage, and I'm very glad that I did because there are a lot of cars over here, but I'm about to head through security and then I think head straight over to Islands of Adventure. So I'm heading to Islands of Adventure, mostly because I was not able to get into Islands of Adventure this time last year, but then also because I'm hungry and that's where I want to have breakfast. It is pretty interesting just how different it is this year compared to last year, where last year I did get into Universal Studios Florida before the parks hit capacity, and then they hit capacity, I tried to come over to Islands, and they had all of these metal barricades just set up around the perimeter of Islands, and then I had to wait right over there, and I waited about an hour and a half and did not move. Now whether or not Universal and Islands are back at full capacity, I do not know, because they still have these metal barricades out. It looks like in preparation for a pretty busy day, but people are still heading into the park, so I'm presuming that capacity, it is definitely higher than it was last year, that's for sure, but I'm pretty sure it's relatively normal. These are the crowds right now waiting to get into Islands of Adventure at around 10 o'clock in the morning, which is really not that bad. So once I get inside, I'm going to head straight over to Seuss Landing. Alright, and just like that, I am inside of Islands of Adventure, and I'm going to get some Who Hash from Green Eggs and Ham over in Seuss Landing to start my little adventure today. So I don't quite know yet if I'm going to be riding rides today, or today's just going to be about exploring and experiencing the parks. Forbidden Journey is a 35-minute wait. I'm pretty sure that Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure is a 115-minute wait, so it's not virtual queue. Hulk is 40 minutes, Velocicoaster's 45. It's a pretty good day. So every single year when I was younger, my family and I would always come down to Orlando. We'd come down for Thanksgiving to spend that with my grandmother, which is on Thursday, and then on the Saturday afterwards, we would go to a family reunion near Apopka. So generally on the day in between that, on Friday, on Black Friday, we would always go to one of the Central Florida theme parks. So it's sort of a tradition that I've tried to keep alive as my family has gotten bigger and more spread out, to still come to the theme parks if I can on that day, on today, Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, and just go to the theme parks and just enjoy myself and walk around. So that's why I'm here today. So if I did do an attraction today, it would probably be Velocicoaster over there, maybe Forbidden Journey, because that does not have a very bad wait time right now. Maybe even Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure, but that does have a pretty long wait time. What also has a long wait time is Green Eggs and Ham over here. That line goes all the way back, but I am determined to have my tots today, my Who Hash. I'm going to come back for Grinchmas and all of the Islands of Adventure holiday opportunities probably a little bit later. Today's just going to be about having a good time, walking around. Alright, I'm in line for my Who Hash. The line's been moving pretty consistently quickly, which is great, so they shouldn't take too long. Okay, so I have my Who Hash right here in a cup of water that I'm trying to not spill. I'm gonna go ahead and try to find a spot to eat on the other side of Cat in the Hat. Alright, so I found my spot over here behind Cat in the Hat and One Fish, Two Fish, and there's my Whoville's Who Hash, which is corned beef, onions, a white cheese sauce, scallions, and tater tots in a Who Hash can. And then there's my water. Alright, so I'm all done with my Who Hash. I haven't had Who Hash in years, and that was delicious. This is the entrance to Grinchmas right over here. I'm heading through the Lorax area by the Onceler's house, which is decorated for Christmas. There is still construction going on over here by the Carousel. But I think I'm heading back to the Wizarding World to see what the wait time looks like for Forbidden Journey, and probably do the single rider for that, because I haven't done that in a little bit, and I absolutely love Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. Back there's where you can meet the Grinch. I also thought about riding the Seuss Trolley Train ride, but it is over an hour wait right now, so I'm hoping I have a little bit more luck with single rider for Forbidden Journey. So this is pretty cool. The walls are down over here by Poseidon's Fury in the Lost Continents. They're still up over there by the actual entrance into Poseidon's Fury, the queue. but at least they took them down right here, which helps, I think, a little bit alleviate some crowds. All right, so I'm heading through the Lost Continent over to the Wizarding World. This is the line for Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure, so I don't believe I'm going to be riding that today. So let's see what Forbidden Journey looks like. I think I want to ride Forbidden Journey over Velocicoaster just because the single rider for Forbidden Journey is a little bit more dependable and consistent compared to Velocicoaster, which is random. And here are those holiday crowds in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Hogsmeade that I am all too familiar with. It feels good, in a way, which is weird to say, but it's nice to see this many people back at Universal. Okay, thinned out a little bit after the confusion that is Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure. I don't think that Forbidden Journey is posting what it was earlier, without a doubt, just given the crowds, but let's find out.
We wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year.
So I just stopped and listened to the majority of that show. They are so incredibly talented, and it looks like it's a 60-minute wait for Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey right now. That was the Hogwarts Choir, by the way, who are always so incredibly cool to listen to and just to watch. They're just all around phenomenal performers. Okay, putting my camera into a locker and hopping in line. All right, so it was posted at a 60-minute wait, and in single rider, I waited all of about 5 minutes to get onto Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. That was great. This is pretty cool. Over here they have the Bobatons and Durmstrang performers on the stage where the Hogwarts Choir just was. So what was pretty interesting about my Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey experience today is that the sound was not working, the audio, the on-ride audio, so it was a little bit silent, and then the Whomping Willow wasn't whomping. It was stagnant. What was really cool though is that there was a new distinct smell in the Floo powder scene of the ride that was very reminiscent of the Burning Rome scene over in Epcot, over at the Spaceship Earth ride. So Velocicoaster is currently posting a 1-hour wait as well. I think I'm gonna go and bypass this one and head over to Universal Studios Florida just so I can go to both parks today and maybe do a ride over there. So I'm heading through Toon Lagoon, and I think I want to head over to New Ship the Olive because I'm pretty positive that it's reopened. I know that it's reopened, and I have not gotten to explore that yet. It's been years. I believe this is only a 5-minute wait right now, which is tempting, but I'm heading all the way back there. I know it doesn't seem like it should be a big deal that this has reopened, but I'm very excited just to go up there and just see what the view looks like from the top of the Olive. There goes one of the Popeye and Pluto's rafts down there underneath the waterfall. This over here is where you used to be able to go down the slides here, but looks like they have those blocked off over there. You can shoot water down on the rafts for Popeye and Pluto's. All right, I'm on the very top level right now. This is the other end of the slide that's blocked off. And then there goes the Velocicoaster way over there on the other side. Man, I've missed being able to come up here. Right now the line for Velocicoaster is all the way outside. That is a pretty extended queue for that, but it is definitely worth it. There's the Incredible Hulk, and then here's everybody down there spraying the rafts going by. Okay, gonna go ahead and continue my lap around Islands of Adventure, but this was really nice. I've been looking forward to this. It's interesting, this slide is blocked off, but this slide, which goes down to the very first level, right down there, this one is not blocked off, so I could go down this. Which means I am going to go down this slide. Oh, jeez, this is hard to do with one hand. Hold on, I'm making it work. There we go. Okay, down the slide we go. Woo! Okay, I'm going kind of fast. This is nice. And now I'm stuck. Ah, here we go. Woo. Okay, so there is a slide that you can go down on Me Ship the Olive. This is pretty cool. There's a netted area over here, which looks like at one point you may have been able to actually go in there, suspended over the water, over the rapids down there. This is neat. This looks relatively, not new, but kind of intentional with this netting kind of blocking this area off. Honestly, there's a lot to explore about Me Ship the Olive that I've forgotten about because it's been years since I've been able to come in here and explore, but I'll have to probably come back and do that with Brennan at some point because I need to head over to Universal Studios Florida. Honestly though, how cool that I finally got to go back inside Me Ship the Olive. I know that it's a children's play area, but I just have so much fun in there. It's just somewhere to get away from the rest of the park, and you get such incredible views, and it's just relaxing. I love it. So my trip to Universal Studios might be on the more brief side. just because the majority of what I wanted to do was here at Universal, or at Islands of Adventure where I am now. But there is one thing that is sort of becoming a tradition that I want to do over there. Heading through Marvel Superhero Island and the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man is posting a 75-minute wait, and I saw on the way over here that they are using that extended queue outside, so it's a busy day. It's odd, but I've gotten a little bit of closure just getting to come to the park today, when last year I waited for an hour and a half outside the gate and I was not allowed in. So the barricades are still set up outside, but they are not quite yet being utilized, and hopefully they won't, just given the increased capacity. But I'm heading over to Universal Studios, Florida. It looks like they have these stanchions set up and prepared just in case, but they are not being utilized either, thankfully, because that was not the most pleasant experience, waiting just right here for about an hour and a half in the very hot sun with no promise of being able to get into Universal or Islands of Adventure at all. Alright, I made it over to Universal Studios, heading inside the park now. What I want to do is I want to see the Blues Brothers concert. That's, for whatever reason, something that I've done quite a lot on this day in particular whenever I've come to the parks. And then maybe, potentially, I'm gonna go back to see what the ET wait time looks like. So it's a little bit after 12 o'clock right now, and the crowds are definitely calming down quite a little bit heading into the parks. Despicable Me, Minion, Mayhem is currently posting an 80-minute wait. Brennan and myself were here about a week ago. I promise I do post videos chronologically, but the time frame of when I get around to uploading those is kind of contingent on a few factors. Our respective full-time jobs have been slightly strenuous and time-consuming recently, and then that coupled with other factors like all of the different commitments that I've had personally recently, the various weddings and family trips that I've had. A lot's been going on, but thank you for hanging out with myself and Brennan whenever we have the chance to do something fun and upload a video, because I have a great time doing it. So I have about 15 minutes until the next Blues Brothers concert. So what I think I'm going to do to pass that time is to head into the holiday tribute store and grab a treat. So it's actually really quiet in the tribute store right now. So I walked right up and I got myself a pumpkin fudge. Little focus, there it goes. So I'm gonna go ahead and pay for this in the very final room. I'm still so incredibly impressed with just how themed and detailed these rooms are, but I'm gonna go ahead and buy this and then head outside to go find a spot to watch the Blues Brothers. So I'm pretty positive that this is going to taste exactly like it sounds. This is pumpkin pie fudge. And I don't remember how much this was. I think it was about $5 or $6, and it looks delightful. All right, so yes, the taste and consistency that pumpkin pie would have if you put pumpkin pie into the freezer and then took it out and ate it, but it wasn't cold. That's what this tastes like, if that makes any sense at all. This is pumpkin pie fudge, and it's very good. But I'm heading over to this side street over here in New York to watch the Blues Brothers.
I need to see everybody's hands who made it on the nice list this year. Let me see the nice listers. Boring. Let me see the naughty list. My kind of people. Let me see everybody's hands. Come on, let's do it. I'm a snowman. I'm a snowman. Now let me hear you guys do it. Come on, man. Let's let Santa hear it.
Okay, so I just finished watching the Blues Brothers concert. I just filmed one of their songs, one of the more iconic songs, but that was a blast. I love the Blues Brothers so much. And also, it's snowing right now, which is really cool. Okay, so there go the Blues Brothers. And I think I'm gonna head back to ET just to see what that wait time looks like and potentially ride it. Transformers was posting a 70-minute wait, which is pretty long for Transformers, so hopefully ET is not as long. They do not have a single rider line. Okay, so I made it back to Kids Zone. I think I'm going to head back to the Curious George Goes to Town area and Fievel's Playland, and then come back to ET. I wanted to see the current progression in terms of what is open here in Fievel's Playland. It looks like you still can't go all the way up to the top and climb the ropes up there. The slide is open and the bottom level, but nothing really else over here. For whatever reason, I have a lot of nostalgia for Fievel's Playland over here. And the Barney Show. There goes the Nut House Coaster. And this is pretty new. Back there, it looks like Curious George is open. So this is actually pretty cool because Curious George Goes to Town is back open again after an incredibly long hiatus. This is the most recent area to open back up. And it looks like that includes the Ball Factory back there. So I think I'm going to have to come back for the Ball Factory a little bit later, but this area is definitely open up again, which is so awesome. Okay, I'm actually heading over to ET now. I just wanted to come over here to check it out. All right, so the ET Adventure is posting a 25-minute wait, but the line is extending outside. Let's see how long this takes.
Got him. At the bottom of the hill.
Okay, so that last clip was incredibly short because my camera died, so I'm on my phone right now. I only brought 2 batteries with me today because I did not anticipate being here for 5 hours. And by the way, you didn't really miss much. I got off of ET, which took about half an hour to get onto, and then I made it back to the front of the park. But it is time to head home. I think it might rain here pretty soon, but I've had an incredible day at both Islands of Adventure and at Universal Studios Florida, just continuing my family tradition of coming to the theme parks on the day after Thanksgiving. And speaking of my family, they are currently on their way down right now, my mom and my dad at least, from Pensacola, because they're going to be spending some time with me here in Orlando, and hopefully Brendan too. We're just still trying to figure out the scheduling on that. Dennis is flying down from Atlanta later on tonight too. We're going to be staying at Disney for a little bit. We're going to be going to the Animal Kingdom Lodge, so that's going to be so much fun. I have to go home right now just to make sure that everything is ready for them to arrive, and then we're just going to start having some family time together. But as far as today, just getting some hoo-hash, getting some pumpkin fudge, getting to ride Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, and then ET Adventure, just 2 of my favorite rides at both respective parks. I had an incredible time, and thank you for spending some time with me today. So I will see you soon. Have a great day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.